So obviously, I'm devastated after that last hole. Like, it was a great round all the way up to it. It was everything I hoped it would be. Everything was going the way I wanted. Everything was lined up to achieve what I've been aiming for now for multiple years. The pressure built, but I felt like I had it under control. It wasn't in my head too much. My swings were clean. Something went wrong with that final putt. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be today. Maybe the golf gods, as they are, just have it in for me, but it just wouldn't sink. And a horrific double bogey on that final hole just threw it all away. It means that I walked away with 101, and it's just not good enough. Frankly, it's just not what I'm here for. It's just not what I'm about, and it doesn't speak to me as a golfer and what I can do. No, all right. Just a little bit of fun. The whole channel's not going to be like that. That's not what the vibe we're going for here. It's going to be far more relaxed. At the end of the day, I am trying to get as good as I can over the next 10 weeks. I do have a holiday booked to Portugal, but I'm definitely not taking it anywhere near that seriously. I don't have a whole lot of time. I don't have a whole lot of resources to put straight into golf, but I do want to get as good as I can over the next 10 weeks. So the idea of this channel is to help myself focus, help myself have a bit more of a directed practice, and help make sure I'm making the best use of the little time I do have. And hopefully by sharing it through YouTube and by sharing it through the channel, any of you that are in a similar boat that are also watching, that also have limited time, limited resources, and are looking to try and improve their game, could maybe pick up a few tips, techniques, strategies, help me by also providing your feedback, because I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, things that have worked from you. So, where are we at with my current game? I'm going to rate each of my different sort of shot types and clubs by 10 or out of 10 at this point, and sort of hopefully break down what and where these next 10 weeks are going to be directed towards. So starting with my driving, I would say I put my driver at about a 6 at the moment on a good day. More often than not, I can hit a nice straight drive. Distances are still a little bit inconsistent, but as long as it's going in the right direction, that's a win. I'm still trying to find that perfect groove. I feel like I'm getting there every time I hit the range, every time I get out on course. It's getting better and I'm getting more consistent, so I'm feeling good about my driving. It's then the clubs right underneath that, so in my bag next is a 5 wood and a 5 hybrid. These are the two I'm least comfortable with at the moment. Obviously very different clubs, very different hitting styles, but on these longer par 5s, I'm driving off the tee and hitting a nice 260, 270 yard drive. That gives me good setup. But if I've still got 200 or 200 plus yards to go into the green, I'm not comfortable using either my 5 wood or my 5 hybrid to get it there, because they're both just so inconsistent. As a result, I fall back onto my irons, and okay, they're there, but they're never reaching it. So I'm guaranteed needing 2 extra shots to get there. There's no 2 onto the green. Now, at the level of golf I'm at, that's not inherently a bad thing. Yeah, having 3 shots onto the green to play bogey golf is still great. But if I'm trying to get under 100, I'm trying to give myself the best chance to do that, and trying to really be honest with myself about where are the gaps in my game. That's where it is. Moving down then into my irons, I'm feeling pretty good with my iron shots. These days, straighter more often than not, and they generally go in the right direction that I'm after. I've eliminated a lot of my duffing. I'm not topping them. I'm not fatting them anywhere near as much as I was back in the day. But my distance control is still a little bit out of whack. So for the last round I played, I was playing quite smart and being sensible with my choices. And when I had dog legs, or when I had shots that were in that sort of 200-300 yard range, I'd pick an iron off the tee to try and give myself 100 yards in on my pitching wedge to get to that green. And more often than not, my clubs were going out of whack. I've never hit my 7 iron more than 145, 150 yards when on the range. Last round I played, I managed to somehow hit it 180. Don't know where that came from. Don't know what happened to make it happen. So I need to try and set that out and be a bit more consistent with the distances on my irons to really be able to use them smartly. So that's where I'm focused on those. I'd give it about a 8 out of 10, I think, in general iron play at the moment. So feeling good with that. And moving down into my wedges, I'm very comfortable at 100 yards with my pitching wedge. That will go full swing, 100 yards, 105 yards, very comfortably every day of the week. Good backspin, good height, generally stops pretty damn dead. So carry 105, rolls out to 110, 112. Very happy with that. The struggle is getting myself a consistent 110, 105 yard shot onto the green. So we'll go with that. Once it gets under 100 yards, things get a bit sketchy again. I'm still trying to figure out where are my 9 p.m. swings, or my half swings, or my 3/4 swings, and what the kind of distances are with those. In the bag, I've got a pitching wedge, a sand wedge, and then a 60 degree. Obviously, 60 degree I try and avoid and use for emergencies only, out of bunkers and very tricky lies around the green. Sand wedge is definitely where I'm most comfortable, sub 100 yards, but again, distances are a little bit out of whack. Pitching wedge, only 100 yards. Everything under than that, I'm still trying to figure. So there is an area to work on that. There is some short game pieces to do. Again, like my irons, I'm pretty good with the contact at this point. I'm not fatting them, I'm not topping them. I am making good contact every time I use my wedges, but the ranges and the distances are just inconsistent. And often they're 60 and really good at getting backspin and just having it stop dead, get some good height, really get that sort of third release as it might be if you're a Dan Grieve fan, getting it to stop, getting good spin on it. But with the pitching wedge and the sand wedge, if I'm not risking a complete thin and blasting it over the back of the green, there's not a lot of spin at it, so there's a lot of rollout, and that's again unpredictable on certain greens. Once I'm there, once I'm putting, putting my putting at about an 8, maybe an 8.5. Putting is definitely one of the stronger points in my game. Very comfortably two putting most holes. Yes, there's a few threes that creep into my game in certain points. That's generally when I'm getting a bit impatient, a bit rusty and rush it. But if I give myself good time to get that first putt off, generally finishing it within that sort of 6 foot mark and having a very good finish rate with those 6 foot putts. So I'm very happy with my putting game. Still going to have some focus on that over the next 10 weeks. Still going to do what I can to bring it down even better. But definitely one of the parts of my game that I am most comfortable with. So yeah, that's the plan for the next 10 weeks. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for watching if you've made it this far. If you've got any advice, got any pointers, you've got any suggestions, please drop them in the comments below. While, as I say, I'm not a pro, I'm not any kind of qualified coach in this, I'm just a guy that loves his golf, wants to play more golf and wants to practice efficiently. I definitely don't know everything, so I will love some of your suggestions, love some of your input. I might even tweak my coaching plan, tweak my practice plan over the next 10 weeks based on your feedback. Because I want to make this as good as it can be, and I want to hopefully to pass off some of these tips, pass off some of the advice, and help some of you guys also improve your game along the way. So thanks for making it this far, thanks for tuning in. Please do drop a like and subscribe and all that classic YouTube stuff if this series sounds like something you might be interested to follow along. But otherwise, thanks for taking time to watch, and I'll see you next week.